My grandmother Francesca's Easter bread recipe was so delicious. There was something different about it though, and I couldn't figure it out. Years later, my aunts gave me the recipe, and then I discovered what it was. There are two ingredients that make the Easter bread really unique, and you're going to see what they are. Please join me and make this very special recipe that she brought over from Italy. You're going to see the difference with the two flavors she added to her Easter bread.
Place 1 tablespoon of yeast with a 1/4 cup of warm water. Make sure the water's not too hot or too cold. It should be like bath water. You're going to add a few pinches of sugar to the yeast mixture. This really helps your yeast grow and develop. In about 5 more minutes, this will develop and you'll see little bubbles forming. While you're waiting for that, you'll want to zest 1 lemon, and this really adds a beautiful flavor to Easter bread. So put that aside. You can see how the yeast has developed all those nice little bubbles and it's puffing up, and that's what you want. I'm going to be using anise extract, and this is one of the ingredients, and also this whiskey or bourbon. And this is what my grandmother did. She put this in a shot glass for measuring, and on the extract, she said 2/3 of the extract bottle. I have 4 large eggs, and I'm also going to use some very light olive oil. I'm using 9 tablespoons of the extra light olive oil. Now you can add in the zest of that lemon. You'll be adding your shot glass of whiskey, or it could be bourbon, or it could be brandy. Make sure to use anise extract and don't use the oil. And I'm trying to figure out about 2/3 of this bottle, so you have to estimate it unless you have a way of measuring it. Now here comes some granulated sugar, and you're going to add 10 tablespoons. Add a 1/4 cup more of warm water. Once everything's in, we're going to add our flour, and we're going to use 5 full cups of all-purpose flour. Just throw them all in. This is such an easy recipe. We're going to crack 4 of the eggs and throw them in now too. Now I'm making this in a bowl, and I'm going to mix this up a little bit, but to tell you the truth, I don't really feel like kneading it. So I'm going to put this all in the KitchenAid mixer and let it do all the work for me. If you love kneading, then you would knead this on the board with a little bit of flour for about 5 minutes. But I'm going to mix it for 5 minutes too on my KitchenAid, and I'm using the dough hook. So mix or knead for about 5 minutes till you have a beautiful smooth ball of dough. Place plastic wrap over it and let it almost double in size. It doesn't have to be exactly double. It's time to punch it down to get all of the air deflated, and now it's time to cut it any way you want. You can get 2 rings out of this, or you can get a braid, or you can do anything you want. I'm shaping this into a rectangle and then cut it in half the long way, and then I'm going to have 2 ropes I'm going to make. You really have to squeeze them and roll them. Try and be consistent with the width. I'm not always the best at that, but I try. With these 2 ropes, all I'm really going to do is make circles. I have parchment-lined paper on a cookie sheet, and this is going to be just a circle. I'm going to make a braid later on. You want to cover these up so they can rise some more, so put some plastic wrap on that you've sprayed with non-stick spray. I've rolled out 2 more pieces, and now I'm going to braid these. Now you can just braid it and bake off a large braid, or you can turn this into a circle, which I'm going to do. Just try to be a little bit consistent with your braiding. It's not that easy, and you know it doesn't matter in the end because it's all so very pretty. So this is what I'm doing, just flipping it over, and then once it's done, I'm going to take this whole thing and twist it around into the circle. Make sure to pinch the ends the best you can, and you're going to do the same thing when you make your wreath. You just want to really be careful that it doesn't come undone. Now, after covering it and letting it rise, I'm ready to put it in the oven, so I've given it a good egg wash, and I'm going to put my little sprinkles on. You can just wait till later and glaze it with some sugar frosting and some sprinkles. I've baked it for almost 1 hour. Every oven's different, so check yours. But here it is, and it's so beautiful. Thanks for sharing with me a wonderful memory. I ate this every year as a child for as long as she was alive. And it's so great that I was given this recipe. I hope to see you again soon in my next video.